Hey guys, this is Samantha for Trans Youth, and it's today, Saturday, and this week's topic is actually interesting. Kind of made me have to think about everything that I'm doing when I'm at support groups or just with a trans friend or anything like that. Basically, it's just, what do I do when I meet a trans person? Do I size them up, or how do I react? So I kind of had to split this into two sections, like I always do. The first one is when I'm not in a trans-related environment, like a support group or Pride or anything like that. And then the second one is when I am in that. And then I just kind of had to think about all of these times I've been with trans friends and met trans people and things. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's really kind of odd, and I'm still kind of thinking about it, honestly. I don't totally know what I'm doing at any point in time. But one thing I can say I am guilty of is sizing other trans people up. And I think it's a natural function. So when I meet a trans person outside of a structured environment or anything, and I don't know them or anything like that, I get excited, I get antsy, and I begin to get very self-conscious. I second guess whether that person sees me as trans or not, and I begin to wonder if they are in fact trans. So the reason I get excited is kind of because it's a person that I could potentially identify with to one of the biggest extents. So it causes me to get really, really happy and incredibly jumpy, and I go a million miles an hour. It kind of makes me forget my surroundings. I become a total klutz when I'm around a new trans person, because that's really all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, oh my god, this new person, I have to make a good impression, because this could potentially be another very important friend, support guideline, and I could help them a lot. So that's kind of why I get really excited. The reason why I get really antsy is because I really, really want to talk to them about it, regardless of the people around. And I can actually remember a specific time I was at work, and this trans person came in, and I'm required to talk to every single person. So I'm talking to this person who does not pass, and I can obviously tell that she's trans. And I absolutely wanted to tell her, hey, I'm trans too, I'm with ya, and all this stuff, and talk about it. But then there were 20 other truckers and an entire apparatus, environment of people everywhere, and I couldn't just come out to them. And that kind of made me really, really antsy, because I couldn't do that. And then one of the other things that makes me really, really antsy is that this is stuck in the back of my head for the whole day, especially when someone comes into my place of work, leaves, and then I'm like, oh my god, I saw a trans person, I can't believe it. And then I end up fumbling throughout the tasks for the day. The reason I get very self-conscious when I meet someone out of any trans environment is because it kind of makes me a little on the shy side, which is so not me, because I don't want to come off as aggressive about it. I don't want to come off as, hey, I'm trans, so you should automatically friend me, or anything like that. I also don't want to kind of hurt them, and I don't want to make them feel like I'm a creeper or whatever. So I tend to back off of that and feel a little on the shy side and very self-conscious about the way I'm acting around them. This also kind of makes me really, really nervous when I meet someone like that, because I don't know how to approach the situation. I know that I'm getting overexcited, and I know that I'm getting antsy, and I know that I'm getting shy. So what is the proper way to approach a trans person about that? Especially since if it's in an environment where you can't tell someone that you're trans, what I worry about is outing them. even if they don't pass, that is a very valid danger that I don't want to put them in. So that's all outside of an environment. That's when someone comes into my place of work and I can tell, and then I get really antsy and really nervous and really shy and really excited, and I start fumbling around and everything. But I act a completely different way when I am in a trans environment. I actually go to a support group type of thing at my local center for trans people, and I act very different there around a lot of people who are out as trans and talk about it all the time and befriend me. Well, that's an incredibly important part of my life, and I don't want to ruin it or anything, so when someone new comes in, I kind of end up being aggressive and stuff like that. So I begin to get self-conscious about both them and me once again, and I begin to think far too much about their possibility and what they do and what they've gone through in their life. I also get really defensive about if they ask me questions that are trans related and they're doubting that I'm trans, how I'm going to ask it. So I end up assuming a whole bunch of things and then coming up with these answers for these questions that they ask, and then I already have this incredibly defensive answer that just doesn't fit the mood for the question, and it kind of comes off as a factory type of manner, and I kind of don't like that. Otherwise, when I begin to get self-conscious about them in a trans environment, I kind of change and become a little far too feminine, and then I realize that they don't really care or anything like that, and then I start backing down, and then I go a little too far, and I begin to drop hints or whatever, where it's yep, I'm trans, accept it, but I'm still feminine, and it causes some problems in my head. It's all confusing and stuff. When I begin to think far too much about them being trans and things like that, I begin to wonder if their experiences are far too close to mine, and it leads me to assume things about their history, about their life, which I really probably shouldn't do because I don't know the person. So that's pretty much it, and the way that I react and the way that I feel and the way that I treat all of those environments does tend to change, and the way that I think about everything doesn't usually make it to what other people think. I'm fairly sure that when I'm at that trans group, they don't think that I'm thinking about all of these questions and then coming up with automatic answers or anything like that, because I try not to do it. So I guess to a certain extent it doesn't really show, but that's kind of what's going on in my head. Either way, yeah. This is actually a difficult question that I'm probably going to have to think about a lot more. So I might have a version of this question on my personal channel, and I upload those on Fridays and Trans Youth on Saturdays. Don't forget that. That's pretty much it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.